If you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that normally I cover topics relating to audio and home theater, loudspeakers, tips and tricks for setting up your system, talking about how you listen to music, things like that. Today I'm going to do something a little different and a little bit personal. So everybody's aware of what's going on in the world now. And it's impacting people on many levels, right down to you and I, the single, small business owner, musicians, everybody. And musicians are what I want to talk about today. So a Canadian musician, teacher, bluegrass singer-songwriter, well-known, he was born in London, Ontario. His name is JP Cormier. He posted on his personal Facebook page about a week ago now, talking about the state of music and musicians and what it's going to look like going forward. And he sounded an alarm. He raised a red flag that many people, including myself, were not aware of. So as you're probably aware, in most places around at least North America, if not, most countries in the world, large gatherings are still not allowed. And what that means is that things like concerts, music festivals, even playing in some places, playing music and having a band in a bar or indoors is not allowed. So what does that mean? That means that tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of musicians and bands worldwide have been cut out from that source of income. Now, that's obviously a huge problem, and there's ways that you can support your favorite bands. In many cases, they have their music available on Bandcamp, and Bandcamp has been doing promotions lately on Fridays where they give all of the proceeds to the bands and musicians. Usually they collect a small fee, but they're giving all of the money on most Fridays to the artists. They're the ones that need it. Many musicians and bands also have their own websites where you can order whatever, a t-shirt, a CD, an LP, whatever, directly from them, which means that they likely get more money than if you go on Amazon and buy their album. So look into doing that. But what did JP Cormier really point out is what's going to happen to the typical musician's income and profit from playing live music in the near future or possibly going forward from today. So with venues and outdoor concerts and festivals looking at slowly being able to reopen in the near future in some areas, we're faced with a dilemma. We require social distancing. And what that means is that concert promoters and facilities are looking at ways that they can reduce the size of the audience to allow social distancing. Well, that's all well and good. So you take a venue that's normally able to hold 1,000 people, and maybe to have proper social distancing, you can only have, let's say, 400. Here's the problem. You would think in that case that the artist should actually get the same amount of money. They still have to perform to a crowd of people, but the promoters are saying, and the venues are saying, well, no, we can only sell 400 tickets instead of 1,000 tickets. Well, why not raise the ticket price? It's a more exclusive event. Less people are going to be going to it. And I know many music fans would be happy to pay more in those instances to support the groups and the musicians that they love. But that apparently is not the case. The promoters and the venues are going to the musicians and saying, well, if we can only sell 40% of the tickets, you're only going to get 40% of the money we would normally pay you to perform. That's frankly just completely, it's insane. So, if you care about your musicians, musicians and you have specific venues, big or small, that you like going to, or festivals, big and small, please take a moment to go and send an email to that venue, to that promoter, to that, festival, and say, look, I love you guys. I've supported you guys for years. I've gone to many, many concerts. But you need to treat the musicians and the artists right. And you know what? If every one of us who's a music fan, and I'm hoping that, because you're here in the first place, you care about audio, you care about home theater, you must care about music as well. Otherwise, why would you bother wanting to have a good quality audio or video system at home? So I'm pleading with you, look at your local promoter, look at your local venues, look at the big venues in town, and just compose a quick email to their contacting and say, look, if you guys are thinking about opening up in a socially distanced manner in the near future, don't penalize the musicians and the artists. I'll be willing to pay more for the ticket, and I'd rather do that to support you and support the artists. So if you can do that, that would be really great. A shout out and a thank you to JP Cormier. I think a lot of people weren't aware that this was going on in the background, because unless you're in the industry, you likely wouldn't have heard of this happening or this talk taking place. So I'm going to link below to JP's original Facebook post so that you can see it, and share it too. Share it so your group will see that post. And really, I thank you a lot, because you know what? Without music, those systems that we have at home would be useless. Thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate it.